Hello again, everybody. Today, we're updating a video we put together in the spring of last year that highlighted some of the key supply side challenges that the industry was going to face heading into the 2021 construction season. With spring just around the corner, many of these same problems are persisting, but for different reasons. Today's video touches on some of the key supply side challenges that we believe we're going to face heading into the 2022 construction season and some ways to mitigate disruption on your projects. We are seeing two critical drivers disrupting the construction supply chain in Ontario. The first is a spike in investment in municipal civil infrastructure. In 2021, Canada's construction industry grew at a rate of 6.5% when forecasts had pegged growth at a more modest 2.5%. These growth rates were even more acute in the urban centres of Ontario. Much of this unexpected growth can be attributed to the growth in private investment in civil infrastructure and residential construction. New housing starts hit a 3-decade high in the province, which contributed to the growth in the infrastructure construction sector as private investment in sewer, water main, stormwater, and roads jumped much higher than forecasted. Public investment is also experiencing a sharp increase as municipal capital programs continue to grow to keep pace with intensification and growth targets as well as climate resiliency targets. So the substantial and perhaps unexpected level of growth is putting some front-end strain on market supply. This issue is certainly more of a transitory one. While this level of growth is perhaps more significant than initially forecast, this wouldn't on its own create a supply-side issue. Under normal circumstances, supply would continue to be met. However, when the unexpected levels of growth are combined with the impact that COVID-19 is having on supply chain and logistics, there is a multiplier effect put into play. So the second main driver of supply disruption this year is going to be logistics. In 2021, there was a perfect storm of labor strife in Mexico and freak acts of nature, including the hurricane in Louisiana and the ice storm in Texas, that disrupted the manufacturing of critical construction supplies and raw materials. The supply shortage that ensued was a true shortage, as critical products in the construction supply chain saw their manufacturing production drop substantially. While there is still some catch-up needed, it is generally believed that manufacturing supply is going to catch up at some point over the course of 2022, but prices remain significantly impacted. This is in part due to the high demand and catch-up in supply that is required, but it's perhaps most impacted by a severe supply and logistics crunch. According to a JLL report, shipping containers coming across the Pacific Ocean have been taking an average of 73 days to get to their final destination, as opposed to 20 to 30 days pre-pandemic. And at present, hundreds of container ships are queuing for access to overloaded ports in Western US and Canada. Shipping costs have been, in many cases, 300 to 400% higher than what they were pre-pandemic. Even once the goods reach port, there remains a major shortage of truck drivers, and even the ones that are employed in the industry are being hampered by the transmissibility of COVID-19. In fact, just this month, a federal vaccine mandate was put in place for cross-border truck deliveries. The Canadian Trucking Alliance estimates that 12,000 Canadian truckers and tens of thousands more in the United States will be unable to work cross-border shipping routes due to this mandate. Many industry advocates, therefore, expect that cross-border movement of goods to be further delayed and much more expensive in the coming months, with fewer trucks moving in demand material. This will be particularly noticeable for fittings and valves that are often manufactured in East Asia, and resin, which is produced in the southern United States and Mexico. Municipal civil infrastructure is going through an incredible boom cycle right now. The strain for project owners procuring projects and constructors bidding projects comes from the challenge of bidding certain elements of construction on a fixed price basis when there is considerable volatility in the supply chain for those elements. These problems have not simply disappeared with the rollover of the calendar. They're going to continue throughout 2022. We're recommending a few things to consider implementing to help address the supply crunch. First, ensure your project budget and expectations are in alignment with the current material costs before proceeding with the project tender. Estimates of product costs from early to mid-2021 have to be adjusted. The second is expedite project award timelines. Price volatility continues to be very fluid, so most construction suppliers are only guaranteeing prices for up to a maximum of 30 days. So the faster you award, the faster a price can be locked in. Third, Commit to order materials the minute a job is awarded and ensure that the product is ready and on site for when the project is set to start. And 4, plan your projects with all parties in the subcontractor and material supply chain as early as possible. Order in advance and pay for materials on arrival.